Okay, so this is the last section in the chapter 11 day 2 notes. And this decision is whether we should keep our product in our product line or drop it. And this is one of the more interesting decisions, I think, because it often looks like you should drop it until you investigate the fixed costs and the unavoidable fixed costs. Because that's where this question hinges, is almost always on the fixed costs. So let's look at, we'll do these in a minute. I want to go down to the example first, and then we'll come back up and do those multiple choice. Okay, so here's an example. Boomerang Company has 3 product lines, A, B, and C. The following financial information is available. Boomerang is thinking of dropping product line C because it's reporting an operating loss. So here's the issue right here. That $800,000 is what's stressing everybody out. And they're like at their management meeting, and they're like, you guys, this is no bueno. Product line C is not profitable and it needs to go. And so we're the accountants and we think, okay, let's evaluate whether or not it really should go. And what would be the overall company profit if we drop product line C? So here's what the question says. Assuming the company drops product line C and does not replace it, meaning they don't make product D or E, there's no opportunity cost, right? If pre-tax operating income from the firm will likely, and the answer is either like increase or decrease. Okay, so here's where we're at. Total overall profit. This really needs another column is what it needs. So total for the whole entire company. What is going on here? Oh, I copied it, that's why. Okay, so we've got all of these added together. What in the world? Give me a second. Well, I guess it just has gray square now. Okay, so total for everything in the whole company. So product A is making 11.9, product B is making 23.5, and C is losing 800. So total overall profit is 34,600. So that's where we're at right this second. So if we don't make product line C, what will our pre-tax income be? I really need those lines. So we drop product line C. All right. Product line A will be making 11,900 as per the usual. Product line B will be making 23,500 as per usual. And product line C will be making 0, right? 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 Is that right? It's a 0. You have a question? Oh, yes, exactly right. Yes. Sorry about that gray square. It's really stressing me out. Yes. The question about whether to drop a product line lies in those fixed costs. Dropping a product line will eliminate the variable costs and the revenue always. So it'll always eliminate the revenue and the variable costs. So those will go away. Those will all go to zero. What doesn't go away are any unavoidable costs. So the avoidable fixed costs, those will go away, but these will not go away. That 3,200 doesn't go away if we drop the product line. So it's not zero. If we delete this product, this will drop to 3,200 negative. So if we add that all up, 11,900 plus 23,500 minus 32, we're at 32,200. That's the problem. That's the problem. It actually, if we drop it, we'll actually lose more money. Here's why. It has a positive contribution margin. That $9,000 is contributing to the fixed costs and paying some of the fixed costs. It's fully covering the avoidable fixed costs. It's fully covering that, and it's covering part of the unavoidable fixed costs. Until that contribution margin is lower than the avoidable fixed costs, we have to keep it, because once that contribution margin is equal to the avoidable fixed costs, then it'll be the exact same as dropping the product line. So we gotta wait. We don't drop it when it's at 800, negative 800. We don't drop it when it's at negative 1,000. We don't drop it until at negative 2,000. We don't drop this product until it's negative more than 3,200. So once that gets to negative 4,000, 5,000, 6,000, okay, then we drop it and it goes to 32. So this is our minimum we're at. The minimum is not zero. Our minimum right now for product C is negative 32. So that's where our cutoff point is for dropping this product. And that's what's so interesting about these products, these decisions, is because those unavoidable fixed costs are there no matter what. So if we drop all the products, we will still have to pay that 42, that 10.5, and that 32. So that's where our baseline is. Our baseline for this company is not zero right now because we have unavoidable fixed costs. Our baseline for this company is losing like almost $18,000 because we have to pay those unavoidable fixed costs right now. Once we get rid of those, then it'll be zero. But right now, it says unavoidable, so that means we have to pay it. They can't go away. And that's what makes it an interesting analysis. Okay, so let's go down one more. Oh, the answer here, it will likely drop. Drop. Okay. I don't think, I'll just go down to the next page. I think I have more pages now than you, but. Okay, here's another one. Boomerang Company has 3 products, A, B, and C. The following information is available. C is negative 950. If product line C is discontinued and the manufacturing space formerly devoted to this line is rented for $6,000 per year, operating income for the company will likely, okay, you take a look at that and tell me what you think. What will, bless you, what will be the pre-tax operating income here if we drop it and rent the space for $6,000? So I guess here I would do like rental option. I would do that. So I can either have product line C, I can drop it entirely, or I can rent it. So fill out this, like what will our profit be if we do this rental option? Does anybody have an ending number? Yeah, what's your ending number? 3150. Oh, very cool. Okay. So I'm going to put here, let's see, plus, I could do increase by 3150. Okay, so let's take a look. So rental option, the sales would be 6,000 for the renting. No variable costs. Contribution margin is then 6,000. Fixed costs. Avoidable would go to 0. Unavoidable would still be there at 38. So our new pre-tax operating income would be 6 minus 38, which is positive again. So 6,000 minus 38, 2,200. Cool. So the difference between negative 950 and a positive 2,200 is 3,150. Yes, excellent. Good job. So our overall net income would increase by 3,150. If we don't do the rental option, if we just drop, we'll have 0 sales, 0 variable cost, 0 contribution margin, 0 avoidable, negative 38 unavoidable, and negative 38 income. So we really, I guess technically we have 3 options here. We can keep it, we could rent it, we could drop it. And just based on pure financial information, we should rent it. If we can't rent it, we should keep it. If we can't keep it, I guess then we have to drop it and hopefully make something else, because that'll hurt the bottom line for the company if we drop it. Okay, so let's go back to those multiple choice questions, then we'll be done. All righty, so back up here. The first question says, the decision to keep or drop products or services involves strategic consideration of all the following except. And the answer is here on the screen. And the answer is the desired inventory levels of the product. I feel like if I had to make a case for E, I could, but of the choices given, that's the worst one. So that's the one you pick. And that's a strategy that you'll find very useful on the CPA exam. They will word questions very sneaky, and they do things like most or least or something like that. So that's the best answer we have. Potential impact of the decision on the demand for remaining products or services. Yeah, that's not a financial consideration. That's a different kind of consideration that we're not doing in the analysis, but it still matters. So like I was saying about the product X bringing in customers and then we can upsell them, if we drop it entirely, then it might make the other products less desirable. So for example, there's this little farmer's market by my house that sells, it's out by Ocean City. They sell crab, like blue crab meat, and you can get a whole pound for $20. And it's so good. And it's delicious. And it doesn't have shells in it. And I love going there. Everything else they sell is wildly overpriced. But I go there when I feel like making crab cakes, and I always buy other stuff while I'm there. I always buy like wine or like a cool little salsa. I don't know. There's just little things, or a towel with a crab on it. So if that particular store ever stopped selling blue crab meat, I would never go in the store ever again in my life. I would never buy anything else there. So in that case, that's a real life example of a store that has a product, and if they drop that product, it'll reduce the demand very slightly, because I don't go in very often, but it'll very slightly reduce the demand for the other stuff I sometimes buy when I'm there. And we also buy Christmas trees there. I don't know, if they don't have Christmas trees, I never would go. Okay, potential impact of the decision on employee morale. Telling your employees, oh, okay, that's not your job anymore, now you have a new job, can be really stressful for people. Some people would like it. Other people would really not like it. Probably most people would be like, it's fine. But if you know your workforce, you'll know how much it'll impact them to either lose their job or have to switch their job or stop working with their friends or whatever. Potential impact on the decision on pricing of other products offered by the firm. So if you drop it, then you might have to raise your prices, and that might hurt your sales. Growth potential of the firm. Maybe it would be better to just process further instead of dropping it. Have you thought of that? Maybe that's a good idea. Or maybe stop processing it further and start selling it as is on the, pre the separable costs. So you might have other options that aren't just drop the product. When deciding whether to discontinue a segment of a business, managers should focus on A, amount of operating income per unit produced by the segment. No, that was the negative 800. Don't focus on that. That's what starts the investigation, but that's not the answer. B, the amount of contribution margin per direct labor hour in the segment. We're getting closer. How corporate level administrative costs would be redistributed if the segment were eliminated. Ooh, that's getting super close. The cost of equipment from the segment that could go idle if the segment were discontinued. Total contribution margin generated by the segment relative to any traceable, avoidable fixed costs associated with the segment. All right, so I'm going with the answer E, but C and D are really good options. This is not a great test question because C is talking about allocated costs. So I would accept C. I'm going to mark C as right. I'm going to do I'm going to mark all these as right. And here's why. The book says it's E, but I like C and D as well. C, how the corporate level administrative costs would be redistributed if the segment were eliminated. Those are those unavoidable fixed costs because they're allocated from corporate. And so if they have to move those costs from product C and put them onto A and B, then those costs just move and they don't go away. So basically C is talking about unavoidable fixed costs is what it's talking about. D, the cost of equipment from the segment that could go idle if the segment were discontinued. Okay, this, in my mind, I interpret this as unavoidable depreciation expense. Because you've already bought the equipment, and if you stop using it, you're still going to have to record the depreciation expense. It's unavoidable. You already bought it. So to me, that's still talking about unavoidable fixed costs that exist regardless. And then the last one, the total contribution margin generated by the segment relative to any traceable or avoidable fixed costs associated with the segment. So once the contribution margin is equal to the avoidable fixed costs, then it's okay to drop. If the contribution is more than the avoidable fixed cost, you keep. Because that means that you have, once you've paid those avoidable fixed costs, you have some left over to pay, you have contribution margin left over to pay the unavoidable fixed costs. So this relative dollar amount is important. Because if they're equal to each other, then you know, okay, we're getting to the point where we're not making enough money to even cover the avoidable fixed costs. Once that happens, okay, now we're done. Because the avoidable function like a variable cost in this situation, because they go away when the whole entire product line goes away. Is there another one? I don't think there is. Oh, there is. There's one more. Okay. Questions on any of those? Okay, the last one. In deciding whether to drop or keep a product line, all the following are relevant to the decision except. So let's go through each one of these and decide if it's relevant or not. The level of unavoidable fixed costs, that is irrelevant. Oh, we're out of time. Segment margin generated by the product line, that is relevant. Demand interdependencies across product line of the company, what does that even mean? Effective the decision on overall company morale, relevant but not financial. Oops. And last, whether dropping the product line today would eliminate future options for growth and expansion, relevant but not financial. Okay, so let's go back to C. Demand interdependencies across product lines of the company. Again, relevant but not financial. I wonder what, does the key say what the answer is? It doesn't say. It says A is the one that is not relevant. I say they are all relevant. Bullshit question. Okay, that's it. Because these two go together. Thanks, you guys. Have a good weekend. Stay safe. Make good choices. Use protection. Yeah. Yes, it is sunk, but they will persist into the future as well. So it matters because it's going, and that's probably why it says it's A, huh? Probably because it's sunk. So it's redefining relevant. Yeah, I still call it bullshit. Yeah, because you commit to them in the past. That is correct, yes. But it's unavoidable, then it'll be in the future as well. It'll be there either way. But if you say it that way, then B is not relevant either. Well, because it I can see that, and you say, well, just look at the avoidable ones compared to the contribution margin. Fine, just look at those two. And that's a top-down approach. But if you're going from the bottom up, then you're like, well, these are going to be here regardless. So yeah, they both work. They both work. Yeah. Okay, cool. Oh, let me turn off the recording just a second.